Okay, so today I want to talk to you about mast cell activation, stress, and genetics. So if you're ever under stress in stressful times, viral infections, work demands, lack of finances, relationships, family, the environment, when you're under stress, certain foods, alcohol, that's going to produce a lot of mast cell activation. Mast cells are ultimately white blood cells, and what they do is they produce free radicals, and that sends an immune signal and communication device out to your cells and your defense networks to have to deal with that. And that's a good thing. However, if it's constantly going off from a variety of different sources over and over and over again, it's not such a good thing. You are constantly sounding the alarms, and that costs a lot of energy cellularly in the body that you don't have a quick enough replenishment or repletion of, and that can create major problems. That can create stress, adrenal insufficiency, and or HPA axis dysfunction, or if you want to call it adrenal fatigue, where you're exhausted, you don't handle stressors very well. That could be a major cause of that. Mast cells activating over and over and over again. And if you're exhausted and you're burnt out and you don't focus and you don't handle stress well and you don't have proper energy to get you through the day, you have some form of mast cell activation, whether you realize it or not. And the three things I want you to think about are histamine, your iron genes, and antioxidant response elements. So what do those mean? Well, first of all, what we recommend is getting a genetic test so that you can see if these specific weak links in the chain are weak and what you can do ultimately to fix it, because we find so many people that are dealing with issues just throwing crap at the wall to see what sticks, and it doesn't stick very well except for the big monthly payment for supplements, and you're not getting those reactions or the results that you're looking for. That's why I'm creating this video. So you want to look at certain genes that produce histamine. So histamine, again, is that chemical result of mast cells being activated, and that ultimately can create great signaling in your body, but can also deplete you of your raw materials, and it can also create lots of oxidative damage, and that can continually to get that HPA axis to fire over and over and over again until the cup runs dry. So we look for specific enzymes in the genes that result in histamine excess, and those have to do with HLA genes or KIA genes or ABP1 genes or AOC genes or methylation genes or even FUT2 genes. So how do you know if you have those? You have to go and do a genetic test, and we do genetic test interpretations all the time. I'll post a link for you underneath this video. Iron genes. So if you have a challenge with iron deficiency, you may not have iron deficiency in the body. It could be at other places not getting out of the tissue, and that's oxidizing, creating major problems with histamine excess production and mast cell activation. But it's also costing you energy. It's oxidizing your nutrients and your cells, and you're creating radicals and damages in your body that can result in pain or focus issues or decreased immune system, getting sick all the time, not having energy, being anxious. All of those things secondary to iron. So I recommend, again, the genetic test that looks at some of these genes like HFE or the SLC31A or SOD or your BCMO. Those are major enzymes that we look at. And then the last thing that we look at is called your antioxidants response element. So probably you've heard of glutathione, which is a great master antioxidant. But glutathione is regulated by NRF2 and KEAP1. I use the example that glutathione is kind of the water in the sprinkler, but the antioxidant response elements need to be triggered with KEAP1 and NRF2, which basically senses the fire that turns on the sprinkler that allows the water to come out, which would be in part glutathione and SOD and catalase. And if that's not signaling or producing or turning on or turning off and working well, you're going to have mast cell overactivation. And one thing I want you to walk away with is it's just that you're not histamine intolerant. I think that's a improper term. I think what happens is you are mast cell overactivated, and your histamine tolerance is being pushed to the limit such that you're not tolerant anymore. But that doesn't mean, okay, I got to improve my tolerance of histamine by increasing my ability to clear it out. What I got to do is I got to decrease my overactivation of mast cells, in part from histamine and foods and iron and antioxidant response elements, so that you don't have to worry about that histamine intolerance, because you have a lot more tolerance because there's a lot less overflowing water in the bucket to have to drain. Hopefully that made a lot of sense. So my name is Dr. Joel Rosen. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you put a comment, you put a like, and if you're interested in having me review and send you out a genetic test kit, we do that all the time. I'll put the link in the description, and I look forward to ending your mast cell overactivation syndrome that's related to both your stress and your genetics. Take care and have a great day.